Hello, everyone, and welcome. You found your way to the Sacred Wisdom Circle, and this is the place that we remember what the world wants us to forget, that you are not lost, that you are not broken, and that you are the light. So, welcome, everyone.
Yay,
Hi, baby.
welcome.
Yes, I'm
Hi,
so,
everyone.
so grateful to be circling up with you guys this week. How
hmm
are you?
Oh, been fabulous. There's so much goodness going around. How about you guys?
It's been interesting. What can I say? I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys discussed Pluto's movement last week. And this is one of the reasons why things have now started to move again. So whatever that kind of stucky energy that we were thinking we were in, Pluto moved directly into Aquarius in Scorpio. And what that means for us is Pluto is the god of the underworld. So it's bringing everything that was underneath. So this whole period, probably since about January, has all been about underworld stuff and bringing out into the light that which has been buried in the underworld. And Scorpio is the energy of transformation, and Uranus, which is the ruling planet of Aquarius, which is where Pluto is sitting, is future. It's tech. It's all the stuff that we're starting to see. And I don't know if you're aware of it, but ChatGPT has just introduced a whole new browser of its own where you can work in ChatGPT and be browsing on the internet side by side next to each other. It's kind of blown my mind. So it's called
I didn't know that.
ChatGPT Atlas. And again, it launched after Pluto's gone into, it's gone out of retrograde, gone direct, and gone into Aquarius, where it's going to be for the next 20 or so years. So all the stuff that's been coming up for the last 6 or 7 months, certainly for me, that has been clearing all the stuff underneath, the underlying erroneous beliefs, all that mucky, messy stuff that's been coming up is being transmuted and transformed so that we move directly into the new earth and the new age energies. So it's exciting stuff.
Yes, let's
Not,
get her done.
not without its challenges, but absolutely exciting
Oh,
stuff.
oh,
Very much so.
that's crazy. Okay, so when did this all happen, did you say, Angela?
13th of
Oh,
October.
okay.
That's when the
Okay.
shift happened last week. And it was so funny because I've been trying to put out content for weeks and just not got round to, not that I haven't got round to it. I just haven't been in the flow of being able to generate the content. I didn't even realize it until probably Friday last week that this is what had gone on astrologically. And all of a sudden on the 14th, between the 14th and Friday last week, I put out scheduled 11 Substack articles.
Wow.
And that's the kind of acceleration that is going to start coming up from all the internal work that we've been doing. It's now being
hmm
externalized out into the world. So that's exciting.
Well, it's
Yeah.
funny you say that. Like literally the same kind of thing. Like back in July, I revamped I used to do a podcast called That Feeling of War. And in July-ish sometime, or like maybe a little earlier in the spring, I branded my YouTube channel. So it was That Feeling of More, and then it shifted or Coach Alanna Green, I think. It still it defined me, it's Coach Alanna Green, but I renamed it Sacred Circle, the Spiritual Warrior. And it's kind of evolved about the same time we created this circle, or just before. But I created a description, but I never really felt like moving it forward. And I couldn't quite come up with I wasn't sure what I was supposed to put in there. I literally just put the name in and some description. And then literally in the last week, we hosted an in-person event here locally last week. And then I picked up a new deck, and kind of from that, this last week, things have just kind of evolved really quickly I readjusted the description because it felt too like bold and out there. And it was like I was trying to activate people. And it was like, no, that's not what we're supposed to do. It's the remembering and the coming home and the whatever. So I've shifted the description a little bit and how I feel about it. Since then, I've recorded like 2 episodes, like one yesterday, one today. And I'm like, oh, I have another idea for the next one, like literally over the last little bit. So I'm like excited to put it out there already, even though I sat there like this week going, okay, I'm going to record, and I didn't, and I'm going to record, and I didn't, and then yesterday it came through, and then another one came through this morning, and I want to keep going in the conversation. Like, I'm so excited about it right now.
So what's also really interesting about what you're saying is we're in Scorpio energy, and Scorpio energy is water. So here
Mhm.
comes the flow. We started
Mhm.
even it's the transformative nature of water, which also links us to our emotional body and being in flow. And that's what you're seeing is we're now starting to move. I mean, 11 articles in like literally 4 days. And of course, there's this very, very clever virtual assistant called ChatGPT that actually also helps things accelerate a whole heap.
Mhm.
And I know that there's very mixed feelings about AI and people who are pretty skeptical and a lot of people in fear. And yeah, again, we've had these dialogues and discussions. I think we've had discussed the whole merits of AI many times. But this is part of the acceleration energy into the future orientation that we're moving into. So things are speeding up after Pluto was going in and out and into Aquarius and back into Capricorn and into Aquarius and back into Capricorn. And that's been pretty much the energy of the last year, if not 18 months, because it's the slowest moving planet. And that's why this transformation has taken so long.
And that's literally the content that I'm sharing right now in this video and the um, podcast, YouTube channel, whatever is like you said, it's about that going within to make a shift in the world and what's currently going on. And I'm just like, it's so exciting.
Yeah. And that's the thing with ChatGPT. I think we have to really remember. And for like, it's an amazing tool for us to help speed things up, especially in business. I'm
Mm.
finding it very helpful. And it's so cool. I have to first backtrack to how you said that, you know, revamping things. I'm so glad you said that, Alanna and Angela, because this week, that is exactly where I have been. Last week, I was in the like dissolve. I was like,
Yes.
what am I doing? I gotta throw the towel in. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna let this go. And I was literally in meditation, dissolving into the universe, going, what do you want? What do you want?
Literally though.
Come through because I'm just like, I'm handing everything to you. My business, Soulfully Aligned Women, w- let it go in the direction it's supposed to go. And very much was, the message came through of, what if this is your next stepping stone rather than seeing it as the end all be all? Like it's just an evolution. And so I have been totally head down with ChatGPT, revamping my branding for Soulfully Aligned Women and my client avatar because I started this business like 8 years ago. I started writing my book, and then this business evolved out of my book when it was published. So, every 7 years, you've got to kind of reinvent yourself, get back into what's lighting me up right now. What direction am I going? And it's a different clientele that I'm serving now than 7 years ago, right?
Well, you're a
So,
different version of yourself since
ex
then, right? You've
yeah,
evolved so
so
much
much.
since then.
It's like we're gonna have to, like, rebrand every year the way we're going. But
It
truly
feels like that sometimes though.
it does, but truly, it has helped light me up again and
Yay.
just get back into what part of Soulfully Aligned Women, really is getting me excited. And so I am kind of rebranding it into the focus as a community rather than on me and changing things up slowly in my Instagram. And you just reminded me, Alanna, I could do that in my YouTube too. It's like just letting go and saying, okay, this feels right. Let's bring people in. Let's really get that community feeling going because that's what we need right now. And that's what people
Yes.
need. And go from there and see what evolves from there. But the whole thing is, you know, with all this new technology and AI and, ChatGPT, it's about, you know, going deeper into the soul, into that coherence within your heart and in the alignment. And so that part, and I think that maybe the Scorpio energy helps with that because that's where we need people to wake up to and remember.
Mhm.
It's like, this is a tool externally, but here's where your power is in that, attunement. For me, it's like attuning to your soul. So,
Yes.
Very much so. And it's so interesting that we're experiencing pretty much the similar energy at the same time. The Native American Indian energies in the Moon Lodge, they talk about the fact that women in the tribes would have their menses at the same time because of the fact that they were so attuned to one another. And if we extrapolate that out into the work that each of us are doing and the energies that have been moving since last week, in particular, again, there's this soul alignment of this transformation and shift that's going through. I had a temper tantrum on Friday morning with my higher power. I did. I vented like I haven't vented for a while. And it came from a lot of frustration around we being mandated, for want of a better word, to do this work from source. This is not,
Yes.
this is God's work that we are doing. I come to talking about letting go, Janice. It's not my business. It's my higher power's business. It's not my money. It's my higher power's money. All of those, that releasing and that letting go. And then my conversation was, well, if you're wanting me to steward all this and to do what it is that's come through, I am a resource and I also need to be taken care of. And so it's not just about, here we are, we put ourselves out there, we do all the spiritual work. And I know, Janice, you do a lot of work around prosperity. Also, there's work that's been channeled through in this space as well. And it's also, you're going to laugh at this. So I am ranting and raving, and I got all the emotion up, banging on the keyboard. Got it all up and out. And I spoke to a few people and kind of worked my way through it. So it was Sunday. I think it was Sunday. I was coming back from the church that I go to Sunday evening. I can't remember what day it was. It was a day that I was coming back and it was actually nighttime. Recently, the last 2 or 3 days. And the Uber driver has got this kind of this African music, and it's like 10 bars that repeat and repeat and repeat for like 15 minutes all the way from where I was coming for about 10 miles. This is the same thing. The next thing I look up, and on the face of the radio, it says God's timing. Okay, if ever I had to get a message from the universe, there it was on his radio face, God's timing.
Oh my gosh. Well, and speaking of timing, like you said, look how it's interesting that like Janice, you said you were ready to like dissolve it all, and Angela, you had the temper tantrum, and for me it was like I can't remember if it was because I wasn't on we didn't meet last week, but I wasn't on the week before, and I can't remember if I shared about my human design that I discovered that I understood my human design wrong.
oh, no, you
So
didn't.
when
I
I
didn't hear that.
originally got my human design done, I put in a time frame. I didn't know my exact birth date time. So I put a time frame in that I thought it was just from the stories that I'd heard or whatever. And I kind of left it at that for probably the last couple of years. I had a reading done. And so I always understood myself as a generator. And I'm like, I could see that. I'm the doer, I'm the getter doner, the blah, 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 blah. I've done that all my life. And so, but I also judged my business when I launched my business, when I left the community I was in and I launched my business on my own. I judged that because I was creating ideas and none of it would work. And I'm like, well, I'm not the idea generator. So of course it's not going to work. I'm the generator. Like I'm just supposed to do the things. And then recently I've actually discovered the time I was actually born, and it was in the morning instead of the afternoon. And
Wow.
so when I shifted my human design, I'm actually a manifesting generator.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Right? So, like, of course, and it feels so much better and so much in flow. And when I look at like the breakdown of like, if you get into the like alignments or the whatever, like the 4 or the numbers, I'm a 6 too, which means when I look at it, I'm actually on the roof. So I'm not even supposed to be creating from a teaching, leading perspective at this point. I'm supposed to share from my own wisdom. And that literally has taken me back on my heels to go, because I felt like the feeling within me is like, I need to be here and I'm not there yet. And there was all this judgment around that for myself and my business. And it was literally the surrender of, oh my gosh, this is not who I need to be yet. And I literally took a breath and relaxed into it versus
Wow.
like trying to push and force. And it wasn't all push and force, but it was a lot of performing and pressuring. And that's even what I came home to from the summer, but more like even in the last few weeks of this unfolding, I'm like, oh, literally relaxed into it. And it feels so much better of like, oh, I'm just supposed to be at this point and share from wisdom and thoughts and experience. And instead of I need to be there already.
And your whole chart is going to have changed as well. Your astrological chart, your ascendant's going to be
Yeah.
different. All of that
Mm-hmm.
energy and
So
frequency is
cool.
going to be different. So amazing. Wow.
So fun.
That's so
I'm
cool.
truly finding myself. Like that's the process, right?
Well, and
Oh,
it's very helpful because like you said, you kind of beat yourself up. And then when you look at your human design chart, you go, oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to relax into that. I'm going to accept myself that way. And you begin to blossom. Right?
100%. Where it
Yeah.
was like before I like it actually said on there, like I'm supposed to be in that on the roof term is like I'm sup not supposed to be there yet. There's a phase that's coming for me and I'm just not there yet. So instead of trying to make it happen now, I'm like, oh wait, I can wait for that. I'm cool. I can take a breath and sit back and chill. Anyways.
so you're being brought into flow again. So
100%. And then this happens, like you said, this where we are currently, and then this happens and the unfolding, and now it's like,
Oh,
oh, this is easy. And shifting even from like constant content creation to like, I'm just sharing from wisdom. So I just started doing it, like I said, this podcast and sharing from that. And it feels so much easier versus what I was trying to do before.
nice.
I know I've really come to know that when I'm trying to push a boulder up a hill, that I'm not supposed to be doing anything at all. When it's heavy going and it's hard and it's uh-uh. So yeah, self-care has also been, and when I talk about self-care, I'm not talking about kind of the fluff stuff of self-care. I'm literally talking about taking naps and kind of closing down and just being and allowing that being. I mean, that whole thing with the MacBook and that lightning bolt that went through
Yeah.
me, literally went through me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been the last few weeks, it's been almost like that lightning bolt has been disseminating through the root system of the earth and recalibrating my whole nervous system, adjusting and changing, because that's actually what's happening to all of us. Our body chemistries are changing, our cellular structure is changing. When we're working with these energies, it can't not. So yeah, it's such interesting times, and yeah, the wonder and the curiosity also of not knowing.
Mm-hmm.
That is so cool too. And just allowing, just receiving, and then taking the action. It's so, so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love it.
The interesting too part about that was like in the unfolding of all of that was the finally giving myself permission to relax into it. Like
Mm.
that validated the thoughts where it's like I didn't feel like, and for those that are listening, I didn't feel like I was pushing and forcing it, but it was like then I would still there was still struggle behind it. And I didn't quite recognize it as that, but now that I look back, it's like that's why I felt the struggle, and because I was trying to push and force, and although I felt at times like I was in flow, um, but now it's just like the permission to be like, oh, like
Mm.
that. It can be easy.
Exhale. Can you hear that? That was the exhale. It was like,
Yeah.
how significant
Okay.
how significant the exhale actually is. Everybody thinks it's about the inhale, but I've learned so much over the last few weeks how significant the exhale is. That
So
actual breathing, not it's that. It's also so in the Jewish tradition, and I'm going right back, probably in the Old Testament. The mother form of God was known as Shekinah, so spelled She, K-I-N, and A-H. And that was the name. And so you go, she can, the AH is the exhale. So we are breathing out the beautiful divine feminine. Yahweh, same thing. The Yah, the in breath, the where, the out breath. And so the so many people going out, breathe out all your tension and stress. It's so much more than just breathing that out. The exhale is moving the energy out, not only through our bodies and out into the world, but it's also part of the shift. And so the earth learns, or the earth doesn't learn, but the earth patterns, we're patterning ourselves on her, but she also patterns herself on us as we are exhaling. So she's able to exhale as well, which is really cool.
Love that. That's beautiful.
It's cool. It's exciting times, exciting stuff. And
It
we'd love
is.
to hear from you guys in terms of what's happening for you and whether you're going through the same kind of experiences. So we'd love to hear you putting up comments underneath in the chat so that we can kind of hear what's happening in your space. Because it isn't a one-way transmission. We'd love to talking about building community. People who are watching this are part of the community, so we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. Staying on that, going back to the AI conversation. You'd mentioned that the new ChatGPT is called Atlas. And
ChatGPT Atlas, yeah.
yeah, and so my thought, and I don't pay attention to the news, and somebody else had to bring it to my attention about the whole three-eye atlas. So I'm like, I'm curious, is that related?
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
I haven't even heard about the three whatever. What did you say? Three what?
Three-eye atlas. So it's like I don't know, because again, I haven't been really paying attention to it just to the last week. I've heard a little bit about it, but it's like it was a comet, or they think it's a comet, or they've shifted to like maybe it's an entity, or maybe it's I don't know.
Yeah.
Janice, have you heard much about it?
Yeah, I have it. Actually, it's I've been following it for a while. And there's a lot of nonsense on the internet too. So really important for people to be following reliable sources. One reliable source that I love following is Stefan Burns, Stefan, and he's a geophysicist, and he stays on top of the information and gives you the facts. And will speculate, but not over exaggerate. And he absolutely does not like to put anything false out there. So he's a good one to follow. And I watch him on YouTube. So Three Eye Atlas, yeah, this interstellar object that's coming from out there. And it's only the third ever interstellar object that scientists have observed coming into our galaxy, or I don't even know what you call it. Yeah. So, and the interesting thing is that it is on the same elliptical plane, like within, I think, 1 degree of our elliptical plane, and it's moving
Wow.
very, very fast. Like, I think it was like 65 kilometers per second. And right now it's behind the sun, so we can't see what's happening, but it is coming, and it's actually going to be closest to Earth on December 19th. So there are a lot of psychic mediums that have been tapping into this object and getting a feel for it. And it sounds actually quite exciting. Bringing in some new downloads, some um, energy that's going to help move us forward as a collective. It's a very loving energy, nothing to be afraid of. Most of the mediums that I've listened to, and I haven't listened to a lot, but have said I'm not picking up that there are, consciousnesses in the object, but the object is carrying a consciousness like the earth has consciousness, and that it is coming at this particular time into our solar system in order to upgrade humanity,
Yeah.
help us move forward with our consciousness.
So it's bringing a frequency.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's the rumor I've heard.
Yes. So, yeah, so it's been interesting to follow, and the dates that it connects to, the Earth, the Sun, and the perihelions and all of that have been quite interesting to follow too, because they're significant dates. And the fact that it's going to be closest to Earth on December 19th, right on our winter uh, solstice,
And
is
some,
quite
and some,
interesting.
and some of us in the southern hemisphere solstice too.
Yes, summer solstice. So it is solstice energy, and the the Christ consciousness energy is
Mhm.
is there. So it's interesting to follow and pay attention to. Um, but I don't know. I have not tapped into it as, as a, attuned into that energy. I'm not using the word channeling anymore. You know that? I'm
Yeah.
changing that word because I feel like it's been misused and misunderstood. And
Mm.
so I am purposefully not attuning to it too much, other than, just staying in attunement to my higher self and my higher wisdom and
It's
allowing
interesting. Yeah,
things to
it's
come
interesting.
through.
Interesting that you say that because the word attunement came through for me today. I've been developing a questionnaire on heart-led attunement for leaders. Um, and
Yeah.
that was happening today. So the whole energy of attunement,
Yeah.
um, and at one-ment, not atonement, at one-ment. The,
Ooh.
yeah,
I like
those
that too.
always hidden in plain sight, these beautiful little gems when we
Yeah.
actually are becoming
Well, and
more.
that's kind of what I've been doing over the last week with this new branding. I'm like, new language, new language. Let's refine this to help people understand. We're not channeling external sources. What we're attuning to your higher wisdom, your higher consciousness, and that's your unique spirit team that's there, right? So just shifting that around because I did start a group this week on well, it was Discover the Mystic Within, but it really is just a time to purposefully set aside to tune in to your soul, to your higher wisdom. And we're going through all of that over the next 4 weeks. There's 8 sessions. So that's been interesting that that time too is all like this is where I'm guided. This is what's lighting me up saying you need to do this, create this space. And it started on the 21st, which just it was supposed to start earlier and got delayed. And it's like, oh, and this is new moon energy that we are in on the 21st. So it's kind of interesting how it all comes together.
And
And
it
you're
started on the transition from Libra into Scorpio on the 21st.
yes, yes, it did. So that's cool too. But anyways, that's the 3i Atlas. So yeah, I hadn't heard of AI Atlas, so that's pretty cool.
Or ChatGPT
It
Atlas or
literally,
whatever. I'm curious as to when did they launched it?
literally blew my mind. I was working on it today. And what's different about it is I've got Canva open working on it and I've got the chat right next to it. So I can put stuff into the chat at the same time, ask it questions. I mean, with this questionnaire that I put in today, because the results weren't working. So I put the question into ChatGPT next to where I'd put the questionnaire in, and it told me what was wrong with it. It was it's
Oh,
like,
really?
what the heck? So yeah, it's just mind blowing. And all hats off to these very, very clever people who can code so incredibly powerfully.
Oh
They are
my
thing
gosh.
on another level
Yeah,
of
because I
smart.
can't do that.
No,
Thank you for others that
no,
can.
Yeah,
no.
no, very clever
But
people.
as we are increasing that technology and that support, we also need to be increasing our attunement and our sensitivity to energy because that's where we're going to find truth, right? Because Chat
Mhm.
GPT will tell you what you want to hear. So we got to be careful with that.
Yeah, and
But
not let it just be. And that's the thing. It's
yeah,
like we have the inner wisdom, the inner guidance within us, and it's about tapping in. It's literally what I was talking about on when I did my recording yesterday about going within and stop, like because we've been for lots of years. I don't know how many specifically. We've moved into this commi- um, society that takes. And we're being asked to bring the balance back in this world. And this is where it's like we have to receive that from within. It's from we've been looking outside of us for these finite resources. And yes, it's a good thing about ChatGPT. It's an infinite resource that it's going to continue to potentially you could use and use and use, but it's about finding that same infinite resource within ourselves and tapping into
Yeah,
that. light, that being within us.
And it's also not a substitute for, Janet, you were talking just now about the fact that the whole shift of going into community, which is very much where we're headed within the Aquarian vibration and the Aquarian energies of the new earth. And it's not, ChatGPT is not a replacement for, neither is social media for that matter either, is a replacement for human connection. But that human connection coming from the inside out into the world again. And that's been very much also part of what's been coming through in business yogi as it's been developing. The last few weeks have been moving from the sacral chakra into the root, the earth root, and then the earth star. And it's that energy is slower than the higher level energies that are much faster. And grounding is much slower. And we need to take that time out to ground. And as we are bringing spirit into matter, so matter is also moving back out to spirit again. That cyclical energy, the law of circulation, the law of giving and receiving. Those are some of the spiritual laws that are really becoming quite prevalent.
Yeah. I have another thread for you here. What's come up for me this week is the word alchemy. And so to alchemize, Alanna, I love it.
There was
Alchemize
literally something
something.
this morning that said that. It was like alchemizing. I was like, where did I see that? Literally this morning.
Oh my gosh. So I started reading what's her name? Dr. Rebecca Bullard is her last name. She actually works through Gaia TV. She's on I think the Sacred Mystic teachings or mystery teachings or something on Gaia TV. I haven't seen it yet, but she came up on my feed like very randomly. And I was listening to her talk and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. So she's a physicist and she's combining quantum energy and spirituality and talking about how and why we have to allow spirituality into the quantum physics, right? So anyways, interesting. So I bought her book that she has online because I'm like, okay, you've piqued my interest. So I bought her book. And in her book, she talks about alchemy. She's very, very strong in alchemy. And she said it used to be an old term, that was, poo-pooed because it's just, dreamers, but to alchemize something is to change it into a better form. And I thought, oh, that's so cool because that's what I'm doing with Soulfully Aligned Women. I'm alchemizing it. I'm not throwing the towel in and saying I'm starting over. I'm taking what I have and pulling the best out and moving it to the next level. And then, of course, Gene Keys this week was about just that, alchemizing into a new form, like throwing stuff into the cauldron, boiling it down, and pulling out the best. And I'm like, well, this is really interesting. So, yeah, go ahead because alchemy has come up for me very strong this week, that word and what it is.
Again, I'm laughing. Was it yesterday or the day before? My purpose statement alchemized as well. And part of it is, I can't remember the exact wording, but it involves, I've been working with alchemy for a very long time. The facilitator program that I developed yonks ago called the Book of Changes works with the I think it's 7 or 8 stages of alchemy. You were describing dissolving just now. You're actually going through a process of distillation, not dissolving. It's a higher order energy of alchemy.
And that's what she talks about in her book. She compares the 8 steps in science of alchemy to what's going on in the world or in your personal life. Yeah.
What I did, or what I was guided to do was when I worked with it's called the Book of Changes for facilitator training, is that we're moving through using the energies of earth, air, fire, water, and spirit through the alchemizing principles. And what's happening for us now is that we are in a higher order level of alchemizing. In the sense that we're distilling. And again, it links back to the Scorpio energy because Scorpio is all about Saturn energy because it's all about transformation and transmutation. And that's exactly what alchemy is. So yeah, it's been, I mean, I'm just the grin on my face with the fact that we're working and attuning to the same words and the same language. We're miles, I mean, literally thousands of miles apart and yet energetically so connected. It just is so cool.
Well,
I've
and it's
remembered
not
where it
just
was
us.
from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's not just us because the women that I communicate with are all over North America, and they're all feeling the same way.
Yeah. I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, where did I see alchemy this morning? It was in the card I pulled this morning. So the deck I got just got is called, oh, you won't be able to see it. Beyond Lemuria.
Oh, I have that one. Yep.
Ah, I love this deck. I'm so in love with it. But the card I pulled this morning was She Lotus. Wait,
Oops.
wait. There we go.
Our background, yeah.
And then when it talks about a shadow work addressing the dissonance and seeing the downfalls as the flip side of your superpower, loving yourself and wholeness, what we were talking about earlier, the beautiful lotus that grows in the murky waters, disempowering triggers and bringing light into your dark corner. So it says about alchemizing. Paradoxically, self-love is a catalyst for transformation. And like you said, it's not about the fluffy self-love of like, oh, I need to like get my nails done and stuff. It's like giving yourself love. And it says alchemizing painful triggers is an opportunity for awareness that helps us reclaim more of ourselves.
And
Mhm.
that without sounding really boring, that's Pluto. That's exactly
Right?
that's exactly what Pluto's done for us, is to actually be that alchemist.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
cool.
So incredibly powerful. And of course, alchemy also brings in the beautiful energy of Merlin. So we need
Mhm.
that energy to work with as well.
Magic. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so
Well, not
I
just
found
magic, because Merlin was the alchemist. Like he was in the science of it as well. He was
yeah.
Yeah.
creating through all of the different pieces of herbology and all the beautiful stuff, right?
Yeah.
And when we go
Potions.
to yeah, when we go to alchemy, we talk about the magnus opus, the great work. The great
Mhm.
work is all sitting inside of us. The philosopher's stone is inside of us. The transmutation of lead into gold is taking our lower nature and transmuting it into the soul of who we really are and living through that soul. And that's really what, everybody's kind of going for the Holy Grail because it's going to make us live longer. Well, maybe it will when we do the inner work, who knows? But that's the real underlying teaching of alchemy, is that the inner transformation and turning it into turning our own so-called lead into gold.
Yeah.
So
And
Well,
I just what's coming through is like just imagine stepping up into that higher part of you, that higher power that you hold as a creator and being able to be there but live in this world at the same time. Like, ah, that would be so fun.
literally so it's funny, like I said, this card Beyond Lemuria was this card deck is what came to me last week. And then literally every time I open up YouTube now, it's been like just I go to meditate and it's literally music from Lemuria, like something they created or whatever. Anyway, so this morning I was literally like, it was a Lumeria water healing something, but it sounded like waves. And I'm like, I was just picturing myself and like in the waves and the beach and like in this magical place of just light and love. And that's exactly what I was like envisioning, was like you said, bringing that in and just the goodness of that. Like imagine being that connected and that energetically, like again, magical or a being in this now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had, I had I had such an interesting meditation the other day. The salt lamps, the Himalayan salt lamps. Did I tell you about the fact that I'd gone to a salt cave when I was in Los Angeles? It
Oh,
was
yes.
amazing. That salt. So I have one next to my bed. I have a salt lamp, and I put it on, and I curled up into a fetal position, like I was lying in the womb of the mother, not only Mother Earth, but of Shekinah, the mother. And I had the most beautiful meditation. So instead of sitting straight upright and kind of the channels and open and the energies flowing, I just felt this beautiful nurturing energy where I was so held in her womb. It was so different, so gentle, so powerful, but gently powerful. And it just was this, oh, this is what it feels like to be held by her in this beautiful, beautiful space. It was amazing, just so different. So yeah,
I do believe that's a power position too.
yeah.
Yeah. I've done quite a few meditations in that position, but I've also, like you said, have had a meditation where I literally felt like I dropped into the earth and was being held there,
Yeah.
like again, in the mother. Just such an incredible feeling.
Yeah, that's part of my meditations is that, going into the earth and aligning with her, but picturing Mother Earth there holding you. Like she comes and wraps a blanket around you. She gives you a bowl of soup, gets you in front of the fire. Like, I want to take care of you and nurture you. And I'm so happy that you're here and thinking of me. Right. And so
Aw.
that beautiful, like heart to heart, ah, feeling, and then just stay
Again,
there
a
and
sigh.
fill up. Yeah. Fill up and another side.
Exhale.
Yeah. And that's instead of like, "Okay, drop your anchor down." It's like, no, that just seems
Uh,
rude."
I'm just tapping in when I feel like it. Like, let me just
Yeah, it's
plug
like,
into you
"No,
and
go
use
down
you.
there,
Yeah.
take some love down to Mother Earth and knock on her door and say, 'I'm here, I love you,'" kind of like a grandmother that
I was just
is
gonna say,
just
like,
loving
checking
it
in for a
when you come
visit.
and visit. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's my image, and then once you do that, then you connect higher into
Mm.
source. So and that's the alignment. That's that beautiful attuning in that alignment, but, being there and quieting your mind long enough to quiet the mind to
Yes.
then move out into the quantum field, right?
I'm giggling because somebody said to me earlier on this week, "So what do you do for fun?" Uh, so I'm going,
Get
"Yeah,
on
this is
Zoom and have
what
these wonderful conversations.
Yeah, that's right. This
this
is
is what
my
I
fun.
do for this is what I do for fun." She says, "No, I don't mean that." She says, "What do you do without the screen time?" I'm going, "This is where all the magic happens." Um, I was also tuning into my inner child. I don't know whether you guys did it, but I played a lot with spirograph as a little girl.
Mhm.
I loved spirograph with colored pens and all of those things. And little did we know then that that was playing with the toroidal fields. It was playing with sacred geometry.
Yeah.
So for anybody who's listening, if ever you're in doubt as to what your purpose is, go and tune into your inner child and the games that you used to play as a little person, because she holds your secrets. He holds your secrets too.
Mm.
Uh, because that's where it sits when we're still pure before picking up on all the barnacles of the boat that the 3D world wants us still to hold on to. So it
And
was,
try
yeah,
to other ways to tap into it, like you said, play and things that you used
right.
to do, but are just creation. Like Janice does art, like some beautiful, like you don't
Mhm.
need to be an artist or be a whatever and sell stuff, but just be in the creation of something that brings you joy, that brings you passion. It doesn't need to be for profit. It doesn't need to be
No.
whatever, but just in the creation of what feels good for you, what gives you light, it feels purposeful in expression of your fullest self.
Yeah. Yeah.
Write a story. And it's, yeah, Janet, I mean,
Mhm.
Janice must play all the time when she's in front
Oh,
of her
well, and
canvases.
I actually have a program that is almost done. I'm just finishing the last 2 modules, but it is called what did I call it? The Soulfully Aligned Intuitive Painting Journey. So for anybody that's never painted before and it's just play, we're going to come in
Mm.
and play on the canvas. Yeah. And so that is coming out here in the next week or two. And it's 8 modules that are all pre-recorded and you just go through it on your own time, but you get to just be in that creative flow and play around. So it's for people that are kind of scared of painting, but there's some painting concepts in there too to help you. Some of the elements of design just to introduce them and yeah. So when you say, what do you do for fun? It's like, yeah, sometimes I think, well, I just love what I do. It's not work. I just love what I do.
It's not.
And it's so much fun. But yeah, the creating part is fun. And I love creating even crafty things. Last week we made witches' brooms in my garage.
Fun.
It was so fun. We had our family Thanksgiving, and I said, "We're going to, for anyone that wants to," and the kids loved it. They
Mm.
just loved it, and we just were created these all-natural witches' brooms to put on our porches for the Halloween
Halloween.
season.
So fun.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it is. So, um, yeah, we have Halloween coming up, and that energy, the witch energy, we could talk about that that's next Friday. That's when we
Mhm.
meet. Ooh.
Oh,
We'll have to bring
and
that in.
the thinning of the veil.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. All Saints Day.
that's
Ah,
the-
that'll be good. And in November, I don't know if I told you guys that I am going to Spain. Um,
No.
Oh,
yes, I
Wow.
have been invited to co-facilitate an art retreat in Spain.
I think
And so
maybe
Oh,
it
we
what?
came up quite suddenly, because the other person that was going to be there as the right-hand helper can't make it. So, then she's like, "Oh, yeah, I thought of you. Could you please come?" I'm like, "Could I please come?"
Like,
twist my
I really
rubber
have to think
arm.
about this.
Yeah. So I'm like, I downloaded Duolingo. I'm trying to learn some basic Spanish words because I'm traveling by myself to Madrid and then meeting them all in Granada. But it's going to be fun. So there'll be 2 Fridays that I won't be able to be here because I'm traveling and then at the retreat. So
Oh,
yeah.
that's so incredible. It's gonna be so fun. We can't wait to hear all about it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it too. Yeah.
We're moving and shaking. We really
Mm.
are. I had a wonderful experience last week. It was World Values Day on Friday, and I took my Choices board game to a community of young people. What was traditionally called the townships, similar to reservations. And I took it into a community center of high school students. We had about 30 kids playing the game. It was just so good to be back in that space again. It really was. And yeah, just celebrating World Values Day. So lots of things happening where
World Values Day?
World Values Day, yeah. It's
That's something I've not heard of. Is this
16th of
a
October
worldwide thing?
every year. Yeah, it's emanates from the UK. Excuse me, from the UK. I don't know how many years they've been running it. And it happens on the 16th of October every year. And
Oh,
part of what their purpose and their mission is to kind of really reinstill values at the core of humanity in terms of who we are and how we engage with ourselves and one another. I can send you
yeah.
that. I can
I'm
send you the
looking.
link, Donna. We can put it into the chat if you like. It was
Yeah.
yeah, and the value that we chose was choice and the freedom to choose.
Mm, I love that one.
That was really cool.
Oh, my calendar says that's National Bosses Day.
I like the National Values Day instead.
Me too. I'm gonna have to
Well, I could go
remember that.
happy Bosses Day to me and happy Bosses Day to each of you for your own
Mhm.
instances.
So true. Yes, yes, yes.
Recognize
Oh,
it all.
yeah. I'm going to definitely mark that one on my calendar for next year and start the trend here because we've never heard of it before. I think that's fabulous.
I
I'll send you
haven't heard of
guys
it either.
I'll send you a link to put into the chat for World Values Day. They do some amazing work and it is global. There's a lot of stuff that people are doing in terms of instilling values amongst the youth and women and all over the place. It's amazing. They do amazing work. It's a not for profit. They do
Gotta
some
do
really
more of that. So yeah, let's bring that in.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh. Well, you guys, looks like we're coming to the end. And thank you because I feel much better and
Mhm.
lighter and brighter. And I know that everyone here can feel that energy. And remember that as this circle closes, the light remains within you. You simply have to take the time to access it. So let these teachings echo through you. And please leave a comment, leave a question, let's talk about this, whatever it is that resonates for you. Share what touched your soul and subscribe. And please pass this around to everyone else so they can get access to it also. Remember, you are the light, you are the way, and the circle will be here when you need to return. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
Thanks, ladies.
everyone. God bless everybody. Thank you so much.